Well, it's been 2 months since my last wife swap, so you know what that means. It's time to do it again. I wasn't originally planning to make another one so soon, but this month, with me trying to find Halloween-themed episodes of popular shows that I do cover, I figured why not do the same with good old Wife Swap. Now, I know a lot of you already know the deal with this show, but if you don't, two families are selected each episode, oftentimes with lifestyles and ideals that could not be further apart from one another. The wives in these households are swapped for 2 weeks. Week 1, they have to follow the rules set by the wife that they are replacing, business as usual, and then the second week, they get to implement their own rules for the family to follow. And at the end, the couples meet face to face so that they can yell at each other.
It's your world, in a box, in a bow, case closed. Case closed with you!
This show is a dumpster fire and they know it, which is why it is so successful, or was successful.
I said was!
Did any good come of it? Ever? Well, it did on the last episode that we covered at least, but that episode was a monumental exception for the series.
I saw Kara stick up for you like I don't think she ever has before.
In the last few weeks, she has come to realize that you are the best thing that ever happened to her. And to me. You're one of the best things in our lives. And we're damn lucky to have you there.
Now, this episode today is the closest I was able to find to a Halloween episode. You'll see I may have done a bit of reaching, but what am I but a man who reaches? Oftentimes in the kitchen, my cabinets are tall. But with all of that out of the way, let's take another look at Wife Swap.
This week, feel the fear with the Schultz family of Iowa. Horror-obsessed Dolly and Kevin own and run a haunted house and live to scare the living daylights out of people. Kids Cody and Cassie don't have many rules at home and love hanging out with their easygoing parents.
While these families are always seemingly forced at gunpoint to do these long, smiling shots during the introductions, I have never seen someone put so much work into trying to hold on to a smile before in my life. This had to be take number 13. He's like, can I please stop? It hurts so bad.
And the straight-laced, wholesome Smith family of Florida. Mom Christine devotes her life to supporting her kids, training them to be swim champions.
We of course know just by looking at the second family that they are going to be the strict family. Mainly because they were obviously told not to smile. Also, business as usual, they stuck them in front of the fucking sun.
As husband Alan says, he'd rather keep them busy now than pay for rehab later.
Oddly specific, and that is not the last time that he brings that up this episode.
Gather your courage and try not to scream. Beyond these gates lay the scariest place in Iowa.
That's just Iowa. In general.
If I sat here and told you that my wife and my kids were first, I would lie.
Alright, well, I guess we're just gonna set the tone already. He did not waste any time. He got right to the point. Now, it wouldn't be a wife swap episode if not only were each family on the opposite sides of the spectrum from one another, but they also have to almost make good points and then ruin those almost good points by taking it way too far.
I like letting my kids be kids.
Ow! Ow!
It's the only time in their whole life they ain't gotta worry about paying bills or getting things repossessed or getting knocked up or, you know. We don't sit there and force them, you need to do your homework, okay, I'm checking it. We want our kids to do the best that they can do.
People do that?
Yeah.
Because yeah, you should let kids be kids. She's right, this is the only time in their lives that they don't have to worry about work and bills, but maybe at least make sure they're doing their homework. Bare minimum, right?
I'd rather tell my kids I love them every day than have a clean house.
Damn, too bad it's impossible to do both of those things.
My mom does forget about dance class.
But Dolly's about to abandon her family and haunted house to swap lives with a woman she's never met 1,500 miles away in Florida.
Okay, not to sit here and call her a bad mother or anything, because I don't know anything about her other than what the show has decided to show me, but it's funny them using their usual phrase, abandoning her family, after just showing us that she regularly forgets to take her daughter to dance class or make sure her kids are doing their schoolwork. So now that we got a chance to meet the loose family, it's time to meet the tight family, that being Christine and Alan Smith of Florida. And as we heard a little bit from the dad earlier, one of their big things is making sure they stay so damn busy that they couldn't possibly get into trouble. No way that's not a ticking time bomb.
By keeping our children busy now, I don't have to pay for drug rehabilitation later.
Now pay attention to the dad's wording here because it's a bit different than it was at the beginning of the episode. It's not that they don't go to rehab, it's that he doesn't have to pay for rehab.
Structure wards off the unknown, so my children have nothing to be afraid of.
What about drowning?
University professor Allen shares his wife's old-fashioned traditional values.
I wear a tie every day. It enables me to say I'm going to live up to the
Come on, come on, come on.
Damn, some professor, huh? I'm glad they cut the shot where they did because that was perfect. If I'm being honest, I would be pissed if I was him. Like, you guys couldn't just give me another fucking second. I stumbled upon my words. All right, let me catch my thought.
Hunter, please.
All right, Mom.
Pick up the speed. We gotta get going.
I don't have that much, though.
I need you to finish right now.
Her forcing the son to eat looks like he's fighting for his life on a man versus food challenge right now.
I do monitor my children just to make sure that they are doing their homework. Get off the phone.
Oh, that's fucking sick. She has the red razor. I only ever got the fucking silver razor. I'm jealous. Not of her or her family, but the small piece of now obsolete technology.
When you just send stuff over the internet, it's not a skill-building thing.
Ah, shit, here comes the piano music. It's about to get a lot less funny.
I would love to go to a college outside of Florida. I do want to get away from my parents.
Bye.
There's a bit of that ticking time bomb that I was talking about earlier.
Don't go easy on her.
Make sure you show them the meaning of fear.
Their whole haunted house bit aside, nothing has felt more fitting for the show than to say, show them the meaning of fear before embarking on a wife swap endeavor.
What is this, Halloween year-round with the ghost?
So now it's time for the wives to explore the homes before meeting the families and judging a book by its cover.
Look at the decor. I mean, it's pretty ugly. This can be annoying.
Alright, she may be kind of uptight, but I'm gonna side with Christine on that one. I could see that getting pretty annoying walking by it. I bought an automatic trash can lid from Home Depot, and every time I walk by it, my shirt brushes over the sensor and it opens, so I completely understand.
Morning practice, afternoon practice. But you know what? I don't see anything like have fun.
Okay, I know we're supposed to be getting the vibe that Christine hates fun and all, but come on, who writes have fun on a calendar like that? Like it's SpongeBob's house.
Sorry about this calendar.
Now that I'm saying that out loud, it had to have been an addition from the producers 100%. So now after taking a look around each other's house, it's time for the wives to sit down and read the manuals of rules set by the previous wife and written by someone who is not paid well enough to do so.
We live for scaring the crap out of people. It sounds like they want to be intimidating. I'm not intimidated.
Well, you looked pretty spooked reading the word crap just a minute ago.
We live for scaring the crap out of people.
You know, I should have known watching any other episode after the very surprisingly pleasant episode last Wife Swap video, it was just going to be frustrating. And especially this episode being far enough into the show at the end of season 5, you know they told them to go in there ready to swing, like it's non-stop with the digs once they turn that key. But now it's finally time for them to meet the families that they'll be staying with for the next 2 weeks.
Oh my God, how old is this woman? My God, she must be like born in the 30s or something.
She doesn't look that old, but let me warn you, that will be a much bigger topic this episode than you would expect just looking at her.
I think she has a lot of attitude. She's got bones on her clothing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess she does. I don't know where the whole attitude thing is coming from, though. So, as I said before, this first week is just going to be business as usual for the family, and the new wife has to play by their rules.
Are you ready to terrorize?
Oh, absolutely.
I love her response to that.
Are you ready to terrorize?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Gee. Ooh, I'm the strict mom on an episode of Wife Swap. I'm scared of change and people who live differently than the way that I'm used to living.
I don't feel like I know who I am right now. I am one of the faceless horror types, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you perfectly explained being an employee at a haunted house. You summed it up pretty well.
The fact that he's bringing his 14-year-old to work in this place is just not right.
Why is she acting like 14 years old is that young for something like this? You want to know what I was doing when I was 14?
What's up, it's Chris here. And I'm going to be bringing you a little bit of a rant video.
Much scarier things, let me tell you.
It's 4:50 a.m. on the first morning of the swap in Florida, and Dolly must take Danielle to swim practice.
I don't really talk in the morning on the way to swim practice.
I wonder if she always sits in the back seat or if it's just because of the camera crew, because a lot of times when something is odd like that on a show like this, it can be simply explained by the presence of a camera crew. But when it's a family like this, on Wife Swap, it's anyone's guess.
That made me feel like she doesn't really have a strong connection with her mother.
While she's not very far off with her conclusion, there is no way that I'm talking to either of my parents in the car at 5:50 a.m. in the morning on the way to practice. I am simply not talking to anyone under those circumstances. And then on top of that, you've got the wife swap camera crew with a light in your face. Holy shit.
Is there anything else that you do like after school? Like, do you do any sports?
No, I'm not in any activities, I guess.
I think this kid is missing out on life a little bit.
He's missing out on life? What about your kids? All they do is swim and try their best to finish dinner.
I need you to finish right now.
Later, Christine must drive Cassie to the only outside activity planned for the week, dance practice.
Parents' involvement is crucial for a child to reach that next step, you know?
What is this? Unfinished basement of a dance hall that she practices at. I still can't get over how much this guy emphasized her looking old. Like, yeah, maybe she's a little on the older side for being a parent to some teens, but not old enough for it to be something that is mentioned many times in one episode. So at this point, Christine is not liking the fact that they just drop the daughter off at dance practice and that the dad is not very involved with the kid's life because he's so busy with his haunted house. And Dolly is not having an easy time trying to be the strict parent when it comes to disciplining the kids.
They're just going to see that, okay, it should be some other way in this house.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what show you signed up for? I've learned at this point that most people that go on this show don't seem to know what show they're on most of the time.
We're harder than most parents, but we believe we're going to be successful. And I believe one day I'm going to get that hug that I'm looking for.
Hold on. Pause. I can't believe with a straight face, he's just like, one of these days, I'm gonna get that hug from my kids. I'm banking on it. So while both wives have struggled acclimating to this first week, it's finally time for week number 2, where they get to implement their own rules for the families to play by. If tension has not already ensued, it soon will.
As of right now, the hunt is closed.
I want to scare the crap out of him.
Alright, this true crime documentary freeze frame edit must be a newer addition to the show, I can tell.
From now on, you will be on a strict schedule of swimming and homework.
One of Christine's new rules is the kids will be taking up swimming, which I can see trying to get the son out of the house and into a sport or activity, but the daughter already does dancing. Why make her do 2 activities now? And does it have to be swimming? That must just be all she knows, because I figured you'd maybe just ask the kids what sport they want to try out. Maybe give them the option.
From now on, swimming is banned, and the schedule is toast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, these kids, they definitely got the better end of things. The household that gets the lax parent on these shows often does.
Kevin, you spend all of your time building monsters, but you are the real monster here.
Anyone else getting a strong whiff that she didn't write this at all, or is it just me?
What do you think life is? A pink feather duster?
Kevin, you're going to start taking an interest in what your kids really want to do. You'll take Cassie to her dance class.
That's the part I like about it.
When it comes to the rule changes, there's almost always a kid that loves the changes, and that's no exception with the daughter here. It's also quite sad that she is head over heels at the wild concept that her dad is going to have to start coming to her dance practices. Now back over to Dolly, one of her big ideas for the family is to go trick-or-treating, which I am confused now. Because at the beginning, when Christine approached their house, she made a comment about it being Halloween year-round for them, which led me to believe that it is not the Halloween season. Not very convenient for my Halloween video extravaganza this month, but like I said, I may be reaching a bit with this one. So if that's the case, she's just gonna make them walk around the neighborhood trick-or-treating at some random time of the year, making them look like complete goobers. That might just be worse than the last episode when they had to go door to door inviting their neighbors to their sorry for being shitty neighbors cookout.
Alan, you need to learn what it's like to be young again and to reconnect with your wife and kids. So we're gonna trash your ties and give you a taste of what it's like to be youthful.
I was gonna make a joke when they started the rule change ceremony that she would make him throw away his ties, but then I thought, no, that's silly. She's making him throw away his ties. Now back at the Schultz household, we're starting week 2 off by taking down all of the Halloween decorations, which is going to accomplish... well, we'll find out, hopefully, what that's supposed to accomplish at some point. Doubt it. And back at the Smith household, God, this show, it never ends with just whipping you around. We're introducing fun and spooky vibes into the home. No more strict parenting, no more swim practice anymore. Are they going to get kicked off the team? Because I don't imagine wife swap is a good enough reason for their coaches. But now it's time for them to get dressed up for some, I'm assuming, off-season trick-or-treating, and I'm still quite confused if this is happening during Halloween or not, because the neighbors are all quite prepared for this. They have bowls of candy ready for them as if it were Halloween. Like, oh, look at you guys. Wow, it's October 15th. I have candy. I haven't opened the bags yet. I can go get it. Are you their dad? Also, no clue what the fucking dad is dressed up as. Is he just going as a dress shirt? I'm gonna say I am leaning towards it not being Halloween, and there just not being a Halloween store open, so they had to get really creative. And then ABC just told these neighbors beforehand to get something thrown together to hand out to them.
I still don't get why I'm going to go swimming this early in the morning. Because now I'm going to be tired, wet, and cold all during the school day, and that's just going to jeopardize my education, I guess.
Okay, well, you can grab a towel if you want. That'll probably do the trick. Trick or treat. Halloween.
My first swim practice was really good. Come on. Hopefully my dad will let me keep on doing this.
Like I've said before, it is always the youngest kids that love this shit. The daughter is actually really enjoying swimming so far. I think she's also still young enough to not really dread being up this early. You know how when kids are young enough, they don't give a shit being up early as fuck? Although I think the son is at the cusp of that age of that not quite being the case anymore. He's like, what the fuck am I doing up this early? I still got school too, fuck.
When the kids wake, they hang out playing video games, but Alan is still struggling and prepares to make a stand.
Damn, he's looking at that tie like, today's the day I finally do it. Look, man, you signed a contract with ABC to do this show. Just for a week, follow the fucking rules!
It was more important to me to stand up for my values in front of my children.
I also love the dad being like, it's important for me to stand up for my values in front of my kids. And the kids are just like, whatever, we could not give less of a shit.
Dad, this is stupid.
That's right, linger on that shot of him sitting there with his pajamas on and a tie. Really let that soak in. I want to see how silly he looks.
Christine is killing me. I think she is old. She should be in a wheelchair. This lady needs to get a reality check.
Man, these might just be the most disobedient dads we have seen on an episode yet when it comes to the rule changes. Like, yeah, we may see a dad here and there disobey the rules, sometimes violently disobey the rules.
Just one day into the new regime and Brian's breaking the rules for the second time.
But on this episode, both dads are pretty consistently not going with the flow on this one.
In Florida, Dolly has ruled that the Smiths make a Christine-inspired scarecrow, hoping if Alan can stand up to it, he can stand up to her.
Chris, I'd like to tell you to slow down, to just take a moment, to have a little more family time to enjoy us.
I'm the trash man.
Look, albeit the concept a little unorthodox, but I think you needed that. Like, you just saying that she needs to slow down and enjoy the family, I think that needed to come out.
You know, I always talk about how I like her hair. It just tells me that how she looks, no matter how she ages, no matter what, she's my heart.
Man, Christine is catching strays from all sides about her age. She's gonna be watching this episode back like, what the fuck, I'm 56.
I can't look at her like a garbage bag, you know what I mean?
Damn. Anyways, so now back at the other house, Christine rules that homework comes before hanging out. Which isn't insane, but all of a sudden now the dad wants to break this rule and hang out with the kids.
What are we doing?
Playing my game console.
Why?
Because I'm done following your rules.
You're done following my rules.
He's done. Cassie can do whatever she wants.
Which on its own doesn't sound like the end of the world, but wasn't one of the big problems beforehand that he never spent time with the kids because he's so preoccupied in the garage with his haunted house shit? And now all of a sudden he's like, I want to spend every waking moment with my children because it will piss off that old decrepit bag of dust Christine. Also the son being like, I'm gonna play with my game console. I mean, I know the producers were probably just like, kid, we don't have the budget for you to be able to say Xbox on TV, so just say game console, please.
You're a fossil. You have lost your childhood.
Fossil is insane. Oh my god.
After today, frankly, I'm not really hopeful at all that Kevin or Cody are going to be receptive to anything. My energies tomorrow are going to be with Cassie. I'll be there for her.
Poor Cassie, man. They're always throwing some kid in the middle of this. I think she just might be the only person that knows how this show works. She's like, guys, aren't we supposed to at least try for this next week?
In Florida, after his emotional conversation with Scarecrow Christine, Alan follows Dolly's next rule. He opens the lines of communication with Danielle and sits her down for a talk.
You don't see anything else besides like where I'm going. Instead of like, oh, are you okay? Are you stressed out? Like, do you need to take a break?
We're behind you, Danielle, in every way. Maybe we missed a trick here or there. I'm not sure. If we missed the boat on it, that's just a killer. And you can get back in the boat. You can fall out, but you can get back in the boat, and that's what we're gonna find a way to do.
Alright, not gonna lie, we do get into kind of a productive spat here. Like I said, things always go better in the house that gets the relaxed mom. It may have gotten a little bit rocky when she turned his wife into a bunch of trash bags, but nothing like at the other house when the dad's like, you are a fucking fossil, you were close to ash, and you mean nothing to me.
Me and Christine, we had it out pretty hard last night. But I'm going for Cassie.
Releve.
Okay, thank God she is actually at a real dance studio. I was worried when she was at that space before.
I have no problem with actually come seeing Cassie. It is quite enjoyable to see Cassie smiling.
Also, thank God it gets a little bit more positive on this side with the dad showing up to her practice, because he's like, you know what, I guess this is alright. Supporting my daughter and stuff. Now back in Florida, the family prepares for the final item on Dolly's list. They're gonna put on their own haunted house. Also, might I say, the daughter has an excellent horror movie scream.
Okay, no laughing, you're terrified. That was awesome!
But they have fun getting into it, and the dad seems to really be coming around. I honestly think separating him from those ties has some kind of supernatural effect because he seems like a brand new man. But back at the other house, Jesus Christ, they are fucking whipping me around right now. While the dad and son have pretty much decided that they are not going to follow the rules for the duration of the show, they're at least going to show up to support Cassie at her swim meet because turns out she really wants to keep doing the swimming thing, rules aside. But it's a good time, everyone's happy, her dad is proud of her. How sweet.
You make your dad proud. Give me a hug, girl.
I'm all wet, by the way.
I know, and you got a rubber head.
And some more fun is being had with Dolly and the other family on a fun day at the beach, which is funny. She's trying to give them a break from swimming and is like, how about a beach day?
Go, Hunter, go, Hunter!
At the Schultzes, Kevin follows Christine's final rule, that he make an animatron depicting his idea of a perfect dad.
And there's no such thing as perfect dad, so...
There's just Dad.
To me, the perfect dad is my dad.
We do start to see some positive change in this family. It's kind of unintentional change. Like, they don't necessarily adopt everything Christine is saying, but they do start to see how spending some more time with each other is beneficial. Sort of reminiscent of the last episode when they're like, we all hate Zev so much, it brought us closer of a family because of it.
In Florida, after their training, the Smith family is ready to open their very own haunted house.
I'm dead serious. That daughter needs to try out for some horror movie roles. She is really good at that shit. But the haunted house is a success and everyone has a blast doing it. Good stuff.
It was fun. I mean, it really was. I've lived a great experience that my wife was unable to share. Oh, she would have loved this. It's got to be part of our routine.
Super stoked for the dad. Incredible turnaround for a wife swap husband, but I don't know how stoked Christine will be for all that.
I had enjoyed getting Cassie involved in a sport. It sort of rekindled some old memories.
Also, while I'm glad the daughter has enjoyed swimming so much and seems to have genuinely found a new thing she wants to continue doing, it's not like she wasn't doing anything before. Christine saying she got her out of her shell and into a sport, it's like, no, you mean just the one you really like. And now that things have sort of taken a turn for the better with both households, it's time for the spouses to reunite and meet face to face for the big sit down. As we've seen before, this can go either way. It really is the wild card for any wife swap episode.
They stay busy and active. They won't be falling prey to jail, to drugs, alcohol.
Yeah, they'll just do all that immediately after they leave your house, once high school's over. Now, as you probably imagine, things start to heat up a bit, and Alan, I think the first words out of his mouth are quite charged.
But you only see it one way.
That's right.
You see it one way.
That's
Your
right.
way, look at your posture. Look at the way you sit. Nobody tells you what to do.
My posture.
I really do think ditching that tie is what chilled him out, because now it feels like the same dude we saw from the beginning of the episode all over again.
It was like,
Did you give me throat? Something for your throw down.
Why'd they leave that in?
I'm sorry you two had such a rough time at your side. But me being on your shoes, I did learn a lot. I looked at your kids, I looked how healthy they are.
I see how they're like so passionate about swimming.
And I want to give that to my kids too.
Thank God for Dolly stepping in, because once she finally does get to talk, it seems to be the X factor for chilling everyone the fuck out.
We have children that, although they're terrific swimmers, they're missing the quality time with us.
Was there some CBD in that mouth spray Alan used? Because he seems to have calmed the fuck down ever since he used it. Well, this sit-down may not have started off the most pleasant as far as the sit-downs typically go, but at least it didn't get to the point of Kevin calling Christine old again, which I now realize is a tall ask for this episode. But in the end, it all turned out fine, and now it's time for the wives to reunite with the rest of their families. Everyone's happy to see each other. They always are. And now checking back in with the families after a few weeks, we're going to see if this experience has changed anything for them for the better or maybe the worse. Christine's family, of course, expressed that they want to feel like they can come to her more and have a better line of communication and just spend more time with them in general. And back at Dolly's family, she decides to add a little bit of, I'll say, much needed structure. The dad and son take up karate class, which, like I said, maybe Christine should have just let them pick what activity they want to take up, and it probably would have worked out so much better. But both sides shift closer to the middle of that spectrum, which is often what happens on these shows, so maybe wife swap does do some good here and there. Often not, though, like that UK episode, but from what I've heard, the UK episodes are just fucking awful all around.
You smoked in the bathroom.
Prove it!
Well, guys, that was Wife Swap once again. I'll say more Halloween adjacent as far as these videos go, but I do have a very big one planned for the end of the month, closer to Halloween. You guys are probably guessing what it's going to be. Some of you are. Some of you have asked for it. You probably get what you wished for. As always, if you guys did enjoy, don't forget to like down below, comment, subscribe if you're new and you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out my merch at the store tab on the channel or at chrisjames.shop. Kevin and I want to thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.